We have been told to expect a new look and a unique feel to this Sunday's NXT Takeover. We don't know what that means yet, but even before they put up a colourful banner or changed the theme of the room, it already feels pretty new, doesn't it? Let's talk about it. This is NXT Graded. Big Tank Energy gets us underway. Shotzi Blackheart versus Dakota Kai. Roll-ups and pinfall attempts very early on in this match from both parties. We see Dakota Kai start to pull away though with some strike action. Shotzi coming back into this using some unique maneuvers as well, like a cattle mutilation surfboard kind of hybrid that she got going on in there. They end up fighting on the apron near the end of this match, and it's here we see Shotzi Blackheart go for a sliced bread number 2 off the apron and pretty much land on her head. Looked awful. The referee is round there immediately checking on everybody. And Shotzi, for the grace of all that is good, seems absolutely fine. Back in the ring they go, and Shotzi goes for a dive out of the ring, but Raquel Gonzalez grabs the leg of Shotzi and pulls her down. She's been a pain throughout this match, that Raquel Gonzalez. Ripley has seen enough. Here comes Rhea Ripley. Pushes Raquel Gonzalez into the steel steps before being dragged away. All these shenanigans outside the ring buy Shotzi some time to recover, and as Dakota goes for that haluva kick in the corner, Shotzi turns it into a roll-up for the 1, 2, 3. Blackheart with the win. After surviving landing on her head on the hardest part of the ring. Opening match for me was a B-. These two put on a really fun show here. I'm enjoying the journey of Shotzi Blackheart at the moment especially, and just a hairy moment with that bump. I'm glad she's all right. And of course it's the continued build to Ripley versus Raquel Gonzalez, basically the closest we will get in the NXT women's division to Kaiju Big Battle. I'm excited for it. We get a Zoom meeting head-to-head between Santos Escobar and Isaiah Swerve Scott ahead of the Cruiserweight Championship match at TakeOver 31. Scott reminds us he has beaten Santos Escobar twice, and there were shenanigans in the last match they had. Escobar calls Swerve a parasite, says he's coming this Sunday to tie up some loose ends, and Swerve is adamant there's going to be shenanigans and excuses and tricks and shortcuts, and Santos says that's not going to happen and he's going to stop making excuses on Sunday. Isaiah says he's going to expose Escobar as a fraud. Love the back and forth here. There is a special charisma about Isaiah Swerve Scott in this bit in particular. I think they were both great. Like, you had Santos like in his glasses in the chair, just looking like the coolest cat in the playground. Then you had Isaiah Swerve Scott in this soundproof room with just all the energy and focus there. This was a really good back and forth. Two great speakers. We get another mysterious video. Somebody on a motorbike talking about you can never come home again. He looks at a poster for NXT Takeover. Who's been out postering during the COVID era? It's a bit irresponsible, that. And it looks as if he's on his way to TakeOver. The date at the end comes up, 10/4/20. Whoa! This Sunday, we're going to find out who that mystery person is in these vignettes. Who do we reckon it is, everybody? Is it Natsuki from Doki Doki Literature Club? Is it Editor Andrew? Is it the Denver Broncos? I think I'm the only person in 2020 still using that South Park gag. I'm proud of myself, even if you're not. We get a prime target special looking at the career of Kyle O'Reilly, from his early days working through the independent circuit all the way to stuff within the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole is a talking head in this, and he's putting over Kyle O'Reilly incredibly well. No sign of Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong though. Wonder if there's anything to read into that. The video ends with lots of shots of Kyle O'Reilly just being brilliant in the ring, interspersed with training in martial arts and out on his mountain bike as well. This was great. Like, they've done so much good with getting Kyle O'Reilly into the position for Sunday in such a short amount of time, and it continues later on, so we'll talk about it a bit later on as well. But I love this Prime Target video. They're beautifully put together, and it's got the hallmarks of our friend who used to work for OTT, who used to put the videos together for OTT Wrestling in Ireland, they just look so special, and this was great. Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae are having a good old chuckle about Tegan Nox tearing her ACL. They say it's even Stevens. She broke their TV, they tore her ACL, so that's seems perfectly fair. They declare they are going to become the first and only married champions in NXT history. Basically going to become the Jan and Wayne Skyler of NXT this Sunday. Out comes Cameron Grimes. He's in a bad mood because he didn't win the Gauntlet Eliminator. He thinks it's a rubbish idea anyway. So he throws out the challenge for the first ever Cameron Grimes Stepping Stones to the Moon challenge. Basically, if you want to get an opportunity, step on in. The first challenger is Joey Pistachio, who's an excellent fighter in the 85-pound category. Joey Pistachio gets into the ring, eats a cave-in and is pinned immediately. And then Cameron's like, okay, that's your first one. Joey Strong, get out here. And as we all waited with bated breath for Joey Strong to get his match done so we could see Sugar Dunkerton on WWE television once again. That boy is getting around. We didn't see him, sadly. We did, however, see Yorkshire boy Ridge Holland, who just hoys Joey Strong out of there like he's nothing. Ridge makes his way to the ring as Cameron Grimes is pleading for this to not go down. He gets to the ring, headbutts Cameron Grimes, and the bell sounds. Ridge just batters Cameron Grimes, stomping a mud hole in him to the point where the referee just throws the match out. Grimes is on the floor, holding his face and his aching everything as Ridge just grimaces in the ring. Lots of crowd noise, presumably piped in, for Ridge Holland as he storms off to the back. Giving this segment a B, Cameron Grimes, spot on here as always. I think he just plays a blinder as just this wacky heel. And then Ridge Holland, who's being sort of set up as this beast of NXT. This is another great way to showcase him. Kind of wish the match they had gone on a touch longer, or maybe had a more clear-cut decision. But I guess you don't want to pin Ridge Holland, and I think they're very protective of Cameron Grimes in terms of when he loses and who to. So I guess this was the way around it. But I enjoyed the segment, it was really good. Austin Theory is backstage. He is scoffing at the thought of Kyle O'Reilly being the future of NXT, when he himself was on the WrestleMania card at 22. He says maybe Kyle O'Reilly should look up to him. More on that later. Then we get a video package for Kushida, who says he is ready to step up and take everything he does to the next level. He's going up a notch. He's going ballistic. This is the aggressive side of Kushida that we are seeing in place here. He declares that he will use Velveteen Dream as a stepping stone on Sunday. We continue to push the aggressive side of Kushida, and that continues into the next match. It's Kushida in action against Tony Nese. Now, a month or two ago, this would have been a more down the middle match, but this is the new angry Kushida. So Nese gets a couple of shots in, but this is just dominance by Kushida for the very short time this match is on. They end up fighting outside the ring. Kushida knocks him down outside the ring. Back in the ring, Tony picks him up for what looks like a backbreaker or a power slam. Kushida turns it into multiple jumping arm bars before stomping the face of Tony Nese and then locking in the hoverboard for the submission win. That's the win for Kushida. Angry to end the segment. And it was B- for me. I didn't mind. I thought there's some good stuff in here again. Shame Tony, I think, now has become a bit of an afterthought. I think they were planning to do stuff with Tony and Jack Gallagher, but we kind of know what happened there. And consequently, Tony Nese is sort of out on a limb. The Kushida intensity thing, I really want to buy into it completely, but as it stands, I don't. Like, I'm not 100% invested in the idea that Kushida is just this fiery, intense, non-stop character. There still seems an air of lovability about him that I can't quite get past. But on Sunday, they have an opportunity to do that. Velveteen Dream shows up via the big screen at the end of the match and says that he'll be there when the lights are on brightest. See you Sunday. Snap his fingers, there he goes. So Sunday, there is the opportunity when the lights are on brightest for Kushida to beat Velveteen Dream into a fine powder. think then we might start. I think Kushida may do something very aggressive this weekend that may cement it for me. I do hope so, because I want to buy into it more. Cameron Grimes is backstage. He's looking for William Regal, and he runs into Dexter Lumis, who just stares ahead. Grimes asks if he knows where Regal is, calls him a weirdo and walks off. Welcome back, Dexter Lumis. Welcome back. Adam Cole is in the ring. He talks about the dominance of the Undisputed Era over the last 3 years, how the prophecy was fulfilled, but then the prophecy disappeared. They lost all the championships, but they are still dominant, and he is sick of hearing someone like Austin Theory running their mouth about Kyle O'Reilly. He invites Austin Theory out to the ring. Theory gets onto the ramp, and Adam Cole says, you've got two options here. You can either get in the ring and fight me one-on-one like a man, or you can stay exactly where you are, and the Undisputed Era will beat you where you stand, and you will beg for option one. Theory, a little bit perturbed by this, takes option one, gets in the ring, and Cole just wastes him. For the first part of this match they have, just wastes him. And it feels like this is just going to be like Adam Cole just schooling Austin Theory. But then Theory manages to get a shoulder block and a somersault drop kick as they go to break. And then we realise, oh, this is a full match. This is going to be a full thing. So Theory's dominant over Adam Cole for a good long while here, but Cole pushes back into this one, and they end up swapping big moves near the end, with Theory hitting the Blue Thunder Bomb for a near fall. He manages to fight out of a Panama Sunrise, but ends up, despite his best efforts, falling short, eats 2 super kicks, the second off the back of an attempted somersault drop kick, then a neck breaker suplex, followed by the last shot for the 1, 2, 3. Adam Cole asserts his dominance. He looks down the lens of the camera after this and says that Kyle O'Reilly is ready. He says that on Sunday, Kyle O'Reilly is going to shock the world, but it won't shock him. So the last words that Cole says is putting over Kyle O'Reilly ahead of TakeOver. This whole match I'm giving an A to. This was a really, really, really excellent TV match. Like, I think that Theory really took a great beating. Theory's really good at taking a beating, isn't he? And Adam Cole here gave a lot to Theory in the second half of this match. And the focus is entirely on Kyle O'Reilly. And this is, again, another thing they've been doing that just puts Kyle O'Reilly in the driving seat in a strong way. And Adam Cole putting over Kyle into the camera was a really great way to end it. Kayden Carter up against Xia Li next. They had a disagreement at the end of a tag match a couple of weeks ago that's led to this. Xia Li storming off after their match last time, so hopefully she's in a better mood this time. Carter starts pretty strong. Lee getting flustered with Kayden Carter, ends up getting aggressive with Kayden Carter, striking her on the apron and dropping her unceremoniously on the floor outside. But Carter will fight back through this. They end up swapping back and forth with pinfalls, and it starts to slow down, so then Carter gets a slow roll up onto Xia Li for the 1, 2, 3. Xia Li has lost the match. Afterwards, she pushes Kayden Carter to the ground, despite Kayden offering her a show of friendship. She gets in the face of Casey Catanzaro as well, and then Xia Li storming off once again. It was a C+ for me. It was a good match. There was nothing bad about it. Just kind of there. Touch scrappy at points. I like Xia Li's new mean streak. I quite like that. I like to see where this is going. The idea that Xia Li is this respectful fighter who has been failing at matches lately, and you can see that it's getting to her. I like that story there. Kayden Carter is again one of these on the bubble as well. I feel like when we get the next lot of call-ups for the women's division to Raw and SmackDown, I think Carter will be in a strong position to step into a role there, as will Casey Catanzaro. I feel like both of them have got a lot of upside. Shawn Michaels oversees a head-to-head between Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly. Simple black backdrop on this one, simple black tablecloth setup. It just looks like a very simple arrangement here as they sit down. Both guys showing a lot of respect for the other. Finn Balor says it's not a surprise to him that Kyle O'Reilly has come along. He says Kyle O'Reilly is not a secret to him, because he says the whole wrestling world watches me, so I watch the wrestling world, and he knows what Kyle O'Reilly can do. Kyle O'Reilly accuses Finn Balor of having an ego and says that he's never faced somebody like him before. Then Balor asks if O'Reilly is bringing the Undisputed Era, and O'Reilly says, no, this is just my business and my business alone. Shawn Michaels asks the question, he addresses the elephant in the room and asks whether there is some concern or some conflict of interest with Kyle O'Reilly going for the NXT Championship as opposed to Adam Cole, and O'Reilly shuts all of that down as well. And he says this is just what they do. Balor says he has been in the industry for 20 years, and O'Reilly follows that up with, big whoop, I've been in the industry 15 years. What's another 5 years? He says the fact that he is the underdog in this match is bull poo. Because he has never been in the ring, Balor, with a guy like Kyle O'Reilly. Finn Balor says that Kyle O'Reilly is very, very, very good. He's witty, he's charismatic, he's got everything it takes to be NXT champion if the NXT champion wasn't Finn Balor. Oh man, this is an A-. Really love the setup here. I don't know about the music throughout it, and a few of the lines felt a little bit, just a tiny bit hokey, just a few. There was enough meat in there that I wasn't too worried about some of the gristle. But the way they positioned Kyle O'Reilly in such a short amount of time is incredible. They had so many big plans in NXT for over the last few months they've been building to, and they've all gone out the window. So they're scrabbling to put something together, and they've pulled the trigger on Kyle O'Reilly, something they said they've wanted to do for a long time. And in 2 weeks, in 2 episodes of NXT, so in 4 hours, you've made Kyle O'Reilly like a top contender, from a tag wrestler to a top contender. Like this episode in particular is the making of singles wrestler Kyle O'Reilly in NXT. Like, I am so invested in seeing Kyle O'Reilly go for the NXT Championship and the potential fallout from it as well. Like Michaels addressing the Adam Cole thing in the interview, I thought was a great move to do. Rather than Kyle bringing it up, it was nice for Michaels to say it, sort of get that answer out of Kyle O'Reilly, because I do believe we are heading towards a civil war in the Undisputed Era. I will keep saying this until it happens, but this whole setup was great. It just, if you had any doubt about whether or not this was going to be a hell of a match on Sunday, oh, you should have no doubt about it now. It's going to be great. Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae teaming up against Io Shirai and Damian Priest for our main event. How hot are Damian Priest and Io Shirai as a team? Just smouldering. They had a bit backstage earlier on where you could just feel that energy between them. Priest makes his way out to the ring. His music's playing. He fires the bow and arrow into the Tron, and Shirai's music starts. And then you've got like this beast of a man in Damian Priest stood there side by side with this beautiful woman in Io Shirai, and they're both looking at each other. And yeah, they're hot. So they end up having this match, and it starts white hot as well, because you've got Priest and Shirai just hoying the Gargano straight out of the mix immediately. Candice LeRae and Io Shirai in the mix at this point. We see Shirai miss a Tiger Feint kick that puts LeRae in charge, and then LeRae gets hit with a German suplex, and it leads to Shirai tagging Damian Priest. He runs wild on Gargano again. Actually, even Io Shirai gets a couple of licks in on Gargano at this point. Missile dropkick springboard style, and a shote off the apron to Gargano too. End comes when Shirai goes for a moonsault on Candice LeRae, but Gargano pushes his wife out of the ring. Damian Priest in there knocks down Gargano, which puts him in the perfect position to eat a moonsault from Io Shirai instead. There we see Damian Priest get tagged in, picks up Johnny Gargano for the reckoning, but there's Candice LeRae with a low blow. We see Shirai and LeRae fighting outside the ring, and it leaves Priest in a vulnerable position to eat one final beat from Gargano for the 1, 2, 3. And the husband and wife team pick up the win heading into TakeOver on Sunday. Back in the ring comes Shirai. She gets in the face of Gargano, only to get a backstabber from Candice LeRae. And the last shot we see is of Gargano and LeRae holding up respective championships over their opponents for this Sunday's TakeOver. Main event was a B+. I love the chemistry these guys had. Chemistry between Priest and Shirai we've talked about. Obviously Gargano and LeRae are good as well. Great TV match to wrap up the night, and I think it's a nice way to send us home for TakeOver with the question of, is this husband and wife team gonna rip the belts from the waists of these two? We'll find out on Sunday. No, I liked it as a main event. The average grade calculator tells me that NXT this week was a B. There was a few things in there that were just okay. We had an amazing match between Adam Cole and Austin Theory and some solid character work that sets up Kyle O'Reilly beautifully. We don't know what NXT is going to look like aesthetically, but it's already fresh. It's already different. We've got a guy who became an overnight success after 15 years. And he's stepping into the limelight, and that is going to be your center point for the show. So however they gussy up Full Sail University, it doesn't matter. This show already going to be very special and very, very different. Stay safe. Love you, bye.